Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 1 hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025 in New Delhi today to celebrate National Youth Day. Israel's top negotiators to visit Qatar for hostage talks. Trump's Middle East envoy meets Netanyahu amid ceasefire push. Wildfires spread into new areas near Palisades. Fire officials warn Los Angeles County will be under threat through Wednesday. In sports, Zenken and Treva enter second round of the ongoing Australian Open as rain suspends action on day 1 in Melbourne. A very good morning to all our viewers joining us at this broadcast of DD India News Hour. Let's begin with the latest news of the day. On the occasion of National Youth Day, that marks the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will participate in Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025 in New Delhi. He will engage with 3,000 dynamic young leaders from across the nation. The Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue is in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Independence Day call to involve 100,000 youth in politics without political affiliations, offering them a national platform to turn their ideas for a Viksit Bharat into reality. During the event, the young leaders will present innovative ideas and solutions to address some of India's most pressing challenges. In a unique setting, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also join the young leaders for lunch, giving them an opportunity to directly share their ideas, experiences and aspirations with him. Paying homage to Swami Vivekananda on his Jayanti, Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a social media post called him an eternal inspiration for youth, adding that he continues to ignite passion and purpose in young minds. The Prime Minister said, "We are committed to fulfilling his vision of a strong and developed India."
स्वामी विवेकानंद जी भी कहते थे, भारत की उम्मीदें भारत के युवाओं के चरित्र उनकी प्रतिबद्धता पर टिकी है, उनकी बौद्धिकता पर टिकी है। स्वामी विवेकानंद का ये मार्गदर्शन भारत के युवा के लिए बहुत बड़ी प्रेरणा है। आज इस तेजी से बदलते विश्व में स्वामी विवेकानंद जी 2 संदेश हर युवा के जीवन का हिस्सा होने चाहिए। ये 2 संदेश हैं।
Well, 12th of January celebrated as National Youth Day all across India, commemorating the birth anniversary of philosopher, thinker and the greatest patron of the youth, Swami Vivekananda. Our next report tells you the importance of National Youth Day and how India celebrates it every year all across the country. Take a look. January the 12th is observed as National Youth Day across India every year. The day honours Swami Vivekananda, a spiritual leader and youth icon who's revered greatly for his contributions, ideas and philosophies globally. Swami Vivekananda, the great philosopher, thinker and the greatest patron of the youth in India, was born on the 12th of January in 1863 on the posh Krishna Saptami Tithi in Kolkata. Every year since 1984, the Government of India is now observing the 12th of January as the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda and the National Youth Day, along with the week commencing from that day as the National Youth Week. In 2025, National Youth Day will take on even greater importance, offering an opportunity to empower young individuals to take action, embrace leadership and bring about meaningful change in their communities. Now, this year's celebrations promise to focus on inspiring the next generation to continue striving towards a brighter and more inclusive future. It acknowledges the potential of youth and their contribution to the country's future. By remembering Swami Vivekananda's teachings, it encourages the young individuals to strive for excellence, as Swami Vivekananda's life exemplified the power of self-discipline and the pursuit of excellence. His quotes inspire youth to aspire for greatness. Develop leadership skills, as Swami Vivekananda emphasized leadership by example, urging youth to cultivate strong character and moral integrity. Focus on national progress as he envisioned a progressive India driven by the energy and vision of its youth. Today, National Youth Day encourages youth to take active roles in nation building. With a vision of empowering the youth, the Government of India is extensively organizing youth-centric events so that the teachings of Swami Vivekananda can be transcended beyond the boundaries. Deepika's report for DD India.
Moving on, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is sending a high-level delegation, including the chiefs of Mossad and Shin Bet security agencies, to Qatar for talks on a deal to secure the release of hostages held in Gaza. The announcement comes after US President-elect Donald Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, traveled to Israel to meet Netanyahu as part of a diplomatic effort to secure ceasefire in Gaza. On Friday, Steve Witkoff met the Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani to discuss the latest developments in the region, especially the efforts aimed at reaching a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, the Israeli military said 4 of its soldiers have been killed in conflict in northern Gaza. 5 others were also injured, with 2 in critical condition. Now, Ukraine claims to have captured 2 North Korean soldiers while fighting for Moscow in Russia's Kursk region. It said the North Koreans had been transferred to Kyiv for questioning with the help of South Korea's NIS intelligence agency. The Ukraine Security Service, SBU, said one of the soldiers had been captured with a Russian military document with the name of another person registered in Russia, while the other did not have any document. Kyiv, the United States and South Korea have accused nuclear-armed North Korea of sending more than 10,000 soldiers to help its ally, Russia, fight Ukraine. Now, it is the first time Ukraine has announced the capture of North Korean soldiers alive since their entry into the war last autumn. Meanwhile, Russia claims to have gained control of the settlement of Shevchenko near the logistical center of Pokrovsk, that is a key Russian target in its advance through Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. The report by Russia's defense ministry also said that its troops launched strikes carried out by aircraft, drones and missiles on Ukrainian military airfields and energy infrastructure that service its army. Now, Russian forces have been steadily advancing westward in the Donetsk region for several months, recording their fastest progress since the Kremlin launched its full-scale operation in Ukraine in February 2022. Russia's military announced the capture of Kharkov earlier this week. The Sudanese military and its allies have recaptured a key city in Sudan, chasing out a paramilitary group that the United States accused last week of genocide. The recapture of Wad Madani, the capital of Jazeera province, took place more than a year after it fell to the rapid support forces. Wad Madani had previously been a haven for displaced families in the early months of the war. The army also on Saturday continued its operation on the city of Bahari, part of the greater capital, where it has also made advances in recent months. The conflict in Sudan started in April 2023, which has killed more than 28,000 people, forced millions to flee their homes and left some families eating grass in a desperate attempt to survive as famine hit parts of the country. Now, France on Saturday handed over its second army base in Chad as part of an agreement with the country's authorities to withdraw its military forces by the end of January. Now, Chad in late November abruptly ended military cooperation with its former colonial ruler, and French troops began leaving the country in late December. Around 100 troops left the base on Saturday after equipment convoys departed Friday evening. The French army had around 1,000 personnel in Chad. French soldiers and fighter aircraft have been stationed in Chad almost continuously since the country's independence in 1960, helping to train the Chadian military. The Palisades fire is burning dramatically over parts of Los Angeles in California. A new evacuation alert has been cautioned in LA. And despite various attempts to control the fire, experts cautioned that weather conditions, including wind gusts, could make matters even worse. Here's more.
At least 16 dead and 13 missing, and numerous infrastructures engulfed into fire. The devastating visuals coming out from Palisades wildfire in Los Angeles is horrifying. Expanded into an additional 1,000 acres, spreading into the Mandeville Canyon neighborhood, the fire continues to pose new threat as authorities command evacuation. Smoke was seen rising from a stretch of the 72-mile-long freeway on January 11th. Weather conditions are expected to worsen over the next 72 hours, further stoking the blaze. Evacuation orders throughout Los Angeles area now cover 153,000 residents, putting 57,000 structures at risk. Starting on January 7th, the ongoing series of catastrophic wildfires has expanded to 6 simultaneous blaze ripping across Los Angeles County neighborhoods.
Elevated critical fire weather conditions are predicted to begin this evening and continue through Wednesday. Moderate to locally strong Santa Ana winds will affect Los Angeles County today and tomorrow, and again Monday through Wednesday. The Los Angeles County Fire Department will be prepared. These winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County high.
To gauge control over the situation, air tankers dropped flame retardant and helicopters doused smoky ridgelines with water. However, climate scientists from University of California, Los Angeles suggest that the situation is not over yet.
The weather conditions upcoming look pretty bad, to be quite honest, from a fire weather perspective. In fact, actually worse even than I mentioned yesterday.
Total economic losses forecast as high as $150 billion US, including those of preliminary damage and economic loss. A humanitarian team from Mexico has been deployed to fight the fires burning in Southern California. Palisades fire has spread into the Mandeville Canyon neighborhood. It also threatened to jump into Brentwood, where celebrities live and play. The National Weather Service warned of worsening Santa Ana winds that it predicted would pick up on Saturday night into Sunday. Biden's major disaster declaration unlocked federal assistance as US grapples with the world cluster of fires in Los Angeles history. Ragini Sudhir Chore for DD India.
Well, Japan is covered under a heavy blanket of snow, accumulating major regions, becoming a reason for disruption. Heavy snow along the sea continues to be wild, and more than double the usual amount has accumulated in some of the regions there. Aga town, Niigata Prefecture, recorded 81 centimeters of snow on Saturday. The snow disrupted bullet train operations and forced the closure of some of the sections of expressways and national roads as well. Now, Mayotte residents are bracing for another storm just weeks after the Indian Ocean archipelago was devastated by a deadly cyclone. The storm is expected to bring high winds and heavy rainfall, promoting the authorities to place a red weather alert from 1900 GMT on Saturday. The storm is now expected to reach the northeastern coast of Madagascar before moving off the coast of southern Mayotte on Sunday. We're heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. Up next, we'll get you all the latest on Germany's snap elections. Indigenous communities and officials celebrate the Day of Cocoa Leaf tradition in Bolivia. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Now, US Special Counsel Jack Smith has resigned from the Justice Department after submitting his investigative report on President-elect Donald Trump. The department disclosed Smith's departure in a court filing on Saturday, saying he had resigned 1 day earlier. The resignation, 10 days before Trump is inaugurated, follows the conclusion of 2 unsuccessful criminal prosecutions against Donald Trump that were withdrawn following Trump's White House victory in November. After Donald Trump defeated Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris, Smith dropped both the cases, citing a long-standing Justice Department rule against prosecuting sitting presidents. Jack Smith led the federal cases against Donald Trump on charges of trying to overturn his 2020 election defeat and mishandling of classified documents. Donald Trump, who's frequently called Smith as deranged, had said he would fire him immediately upon taking office on the 20th of January and has further suggested that he may pursue retribution against Smith and others who investigated him once he returns to his office. Now, Venezuelan army has condemned new sanctions that the US, Britain and the European Union imposed on Saturday when the country swore in President Nicolas Maduro for a third term. Head of the Strategic Operational Command of the National Armed Forces of Venezuela, General Domingo Hernandez Lares, called the sanctions a desperate action outside the rule of international law. The condemnation came after outgoing US President Joe Biden's administration increased its reward to $25 million for information leading to the arrest or conviction of Maduro on drug trafficking charges. The previous reward was $15 million. It also issued a $25 million reward for Interior Minister and a $15 million reward for Defense Minister, as well as new sanctions against 8 other officials, including the head of state oil company. Now, Germans will vote for an early election on the 23rd of February this year, as the president announced the dissolution of the lower house of the German parliament. Now, this came after Chancellor Olaf Scholz lost a confidence vote in the month of December last year. Immigration and the poor state of the economy are the top issues for German voters. While the majority of the 600 delegates at the conference for the centre-left Social Democratic Party in Berlin officially confirmed Chancellor Olaf Scholz as the party's top candidate in Germany's upcoming parliamentary snap election. The 66-year-old Scholz's governing coalition of the SPD, Greens and neoliberal Free Democrats, FDP, failed dramatically at the end of 2024. In his speech, the Chancellor emphasized that the upcoming election was fundamental for the direction of future Germany.
The next 4 years will be crucial. What we need now is clarity. What we need now is level-headedness. And we need experience so that our country can get through this difficult time in one piece. In other words, this is not time for a big talks. This is not the time for old age recipes. This is not the time for politics at the expense of ordinary people. Or to put it briefly, this is not the time for CSU or CDU in Germany.
Ist nicht die Zeit für CDU, CSU.
Now, Germany's Christian Democratic Union CDU party leader Friedrich Merz criticized Chancellor Olaf Scholz at a party convention in Hamburg on Saturday for his strategy for dealing with future US President Donald Trump. Now, Merz said it was important to be united at a European level in order to become as strong as possible. This would also apply to Trump's demand that NATO allies increase their defense spending to 5% of their economic output.
I can only advise us on the European side, regardless of everything that happens in Washington from 20th of January, to be prepared for the fact that we will have to become stronger, that we will have to become more united, that we will have to become more cohesive, and that we will have to defend ourselves better in defense policy. Regardless of whether the figure being discussed is 2%, 3%, 5% or 10%, we must be able to defend ourselves.
Meanwhile, Germany's far-right AfD nominated co-leader Alice Weidel as their chancellor candidate. The party meeting in the eastern German city on Saturday was streamed live on Elon Musk's social media platform X. In Weidel's speech after her official nomination at the party Congress, she vowed to close borders, end the energy transition and abandon European Union climate policy, called for longer operating times for coal-fired power plants and the reopening of Nord Stream. The AFD comes second at 21.5% in a recent INSA poll ahead of the February 23 general election, with the CDU in the lead. Protesters braved freezing temperatures to demand South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's arrest. There are others who are protesting to keep him in the office. Now, as the nation stands divided, Yoon remains in the presidential palace, protected by the presidential security, while the nation awaits the decision of the Constitutional Court, which will decide whether to permanently remove or reinstate him in the office. The court hearing is scheduled for Tuesday. Mihir Maikurir provides us with a status check.
After plunging one of Asia's most vibrant democracies into political turmoil, impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol now faces renewed pressure with a fresh attempt to arrest him on charges of insurrection. This comes after Yoon resisted arrest in a standoff between his guards and investigators last week. Following the incident, the head of Yoon's security resigned, acknowledging that any future attempts to detain the former president must be carried out without violence.
I believe that under no circumstances should there be a physical confrontation or bloodshed, and in order to prevent such a situation, I have called acting President Choi several times to suggest interagencies mediation with the government, and I have also asked the president's legal team for a third alternative.
Acting President Choi Sang-mok, only 2 weeks into his term, has found himself at the center of the political crisis. On Friday, he called for a new approach, urging Parliament to draft a bill that would appoint a special prosecutor to mediate the situation. Yoon's legal team maintains that the arrest warrant is illegal and invalid. Meanwhile, Yoon is also awaiting a ruling from the Constitutional Court, which is reviewing the legitimacy of the impeachment, a decision that will determine whether he is permanently removed from office or reinstated. Across Seoul, protests continued in freezing temperatures, with demonstrators either demanding Yoon's arrest or calling for its impeachment to be overturned. As Yoon's future hangs in the balance, recent polling reveals a shift in public sentiment. While 64% of respondents still support his removal, that figure has dropped from 75% shortly after the declaration of martial law. With South Korea's political landscape more divided than ever, the nation watches closely as both legal and political battles unfold, determining the future of its embattled leader. Mihir Maikurir's report for DD India.
Now, Syrian de facto leader Ahmed al-Shara met Najib Mikati in Damascus in a bid to fix strained ties, with the latter becoming the first Lebanese premier to visit the Syrian capital in 13 years. Now, both the leaders focused on strengthening the border between the two countries. Here's a report.
Syria's new ruler Ahmed al-Shara and Lebanon's Prime Minister Najib Mikati vowed on Saturday to build lasting ties after the fall of Bashar al-Assad during a joint news conference with Syria's de facto leader Ahmed al-Shara in the capital Damascus. The trip was the first by a head of government of Lebanon to Syria in 13 years after Islamist-led rebels seized Damascus last month, bringing an end to the rule of Bashar al-Assad. Previous Lebanese governments refrained from visits to Syria amid tensions at home over the militant group Hezbollah's support for Assad during the conflict. Post the meeting, al-Shara said they had discussed issues including smuggling between the two countries, border challenges and Syrian deposits in Lebanese banks.
We give a chance to ourselves and the Lebanese people to build a positive relationship in the coming phase based on mutual respect between both the countries and the sovereignty of Lebanon and Syria. Syria will be neutral towards all the Lebanese people and will try to solve all problems through dialogue.
Mikati said Beirut and Damascus will work together to secure their land borders as well as to delineate both land and sea borders. Both the sides agreed to establish committees to address these matters and provide support.
Syria is the natural gateway for Lebanon to the Arab world. And as long as Syria is fine, Lebanon will be fine too. It is our duty to develop these relations on the basis of mutual respect, equality, and the national sovereignty of both countries, as well as to work to prevent any action that could harm this relationship or threaten the security and absolute sovereignty of the two countries over their territories.
On Thursday, Lebanese lawmakers elected the country's army chief, Joseph Aoun, as the president, ending more than 2 years of vacancy. Syrian new leader Ahmad al-Shara had a telephonic conversation with Joseph and congratulated him for assuming the presidency. Ties between Damascus and Beirut have often been fraught since they became independent states in the year 1940. With Hezbollah weakened after 2 months of full-scale conflict with Israel, the move of the two neighbors coming closer may be a signal of peace in the war-torn nation, as well radicalized region with presence of ISIS. Anamika Pandey's report for DD India.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news around the globe. The Hong Kong government has ordered the culling of all pigs in a farm in Yuen Long after samples collected tested positive for the African swine fever virus. The pig farm in Wong Nai Thon affected by the virus has already been closed. The virus causes a hemorrhagic fever with high mortality rates in domestic pigs. In France, at least 20 people were injured after two trams collided in Strasbourg. The accident occurred in a tunnel when one tram switched tracks and collided with a stationary tram at Strasbourg's central station. Around 50 people are in a state of relative emergency. In Bolivia, indigenous communities and officials celebrated the Day of Cocoa Leaf tradition on Saturday. Cocoa leaf are a huge part of the Bolivian culture and significantly a dear economical potential as well. Bolivian President Luis Arce advocated for the declassification of the cocoa leaf to enable its global export, emphasizing its traditional and industrial uses. Now, archaeologists have unveiled significant findings at Hanoi's Kin Tian Palace, located in the Thang Long Imperial Citadel in Vietnam. The Heritage Conservation Center and the Institute of Archaeology shared results from their 2024 excavation. The discoveries provide critical insights into the layout of the 15th century palace. Key findings include rectangular column bases arranged symmetrically, confirming the grand structure's 9-bay design. Researchers also uncovered a vast underground drainage system from the Lately dynasty and pinpointed the location of the king's palace. With only 1/3 of the palace area excavated, UNESCO emphasizes the need for a thorough restoration strategy. We're heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India News Hour. SpaDex's slow and gradual moves bring exciting pictures to the earth. Up next, we'll get you latest updates on the grand preparations for Mahakumbh in UP.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. It's now time to quickly recap the top headlines of the hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025 in New Delhi today to celebrate National Youth Day. Israel's top negotiators to visit Qatar for hostage talks. Trump's Middle East envoy meets Netanyahu amid ceasefire push. Wildfires spread into new areas near Palisades. Fire officials warn Los Angeles County will be under threat through Wednesday. Now an update on the SpaDeX mission. The Indian Space Research Organization informed the 2 satellites launched to perform space docking experiments were brought within 15 meters and further to 3 meters in a trial attempt on Sunday, following which the spacecraft were moved back to space to safe distance. The space agency added that the docking process would be done after analyzing the data. Earlier, in a post on social media platform X, the space agency said that SpaDeX satellites were holding positions at 15 meters, capturing stunning photos and videos of each other. And to discuss more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Anbarsan. Anbarsan, a very good morning to you. Now, slow and steady progress made by SpaDeX for the benefit of our viewers. Can you please tell us how this movement is going to help India achieve its dream milestone?
Good morning, Deepika. As you said that the Indian Space Research Organization early morning conducted a mission of docking 2 spacecraft, the SpaDeX-1 and SpaDeX-2. It came nearly just 15-meter distance, and after that it taken back and withdrawing. The ISRO had said that it going to further analyze the data. And as you know that last December 30, the PSLV, the SpaDeX mission is launched, and the first docking mission is scheduled on January 7th, and that morning it's nearly came near to a 200-meter distance. And again the second mission on January 9th, where the both satellites are taken, and also nearly 6-kilometer distance. As you know that it is a very complex mission and also sophisticated mission, and also once it's done, it will be India listed after the Russia, US and China and also Europe. So very complex, and also it's one of the complex mission on Earth orbit, because we have sent various spacecraft into the moon and various places, and particularly orbit level. This is one of the important mission. Once it's completed, we can assume that the Bharati Antariksh Station, the international Indian International Station, space station, we can build it. So it's one of the first step towards that. So making us successful on this mission, it's very important to the ISRO. So the Indian Space Research Organization, the chairman Somnath also said that they are taking slow and also making more important that it will be successfully docked. So these first spacecraft 1 and also 2 going to be in a same velocity speed. So if it's go little extra or low, it will be a crash or something, take a fuel efficiency maybe happen. So they are making more consideration on that. So they analyzing various data, including the distance, and particularly this is a 440 kilogram of weight spacecraft, so heavy weight, and also orbiting around nearly 28,000 kilometer per hour speed. So you can assume that it will be a very complex and also very important mission to ISRO. That is what, and also we can expect that in future the Indian Space Research Organization may take this docking mission in soon, so we can get the successful update from ISRO soon.
All right, thank you so much, Anbarsan, for joining us and bringing us a quick analysis with update on this. Moving on now, let's get you all the latest from the ongoing preparations of Mahakumbh. The preparations for Mahakumbh are in full swing in India's northern state of Uttar Pradesh, and Prayagraj is leaving no stone unturned to ensure a safe, clean and spiritual experience for millions of pilgrims. In run-up to the same, the National Mission for Clean Ganga has taken the lead in organizing a massive cleanliness drive accompanied by awareness campaigns. These efforts aim at maintaining the sanctity of the Ganga river and its surroundings during the sacred event. Meanwhile, in a step towards ensuring security, a joint team comprising the National Security Guard, Uttar Pradesh Police, UP Anti-Terrorism Squad, UP PAC conducted a high-level mock drill. This exercise demonstrated their readiness to handle any contingencies during the event. Adding to the grand preparations, a laser show has been organized in the Sangam or the confluence. The dazzling display of lights gave the visitors a glimpse of the grandeur that awaits them during the Mahakumbh. So the holy city of Prayagraj is all decked up to host the Mahakumbh festival, and interestingly, India's unified payments interface, that is the UPI, is playing a key role in streamlining transactions at the mega Mahakumbh festival, enhancing both convenience and security for millions of devotees when it comes to seamless transactions. DD India's Sidharth Bharadwaj gave us the latest details on how technology is taking its shape at the festival of devotion in UP. Take a look.
I'm at Mahakumbh 2025, the largest religious gathering on earth, where around 450 to 500 million people are expected to participate. This is a place where tradition meets technology. For example, UPI. The way UPI has transformed the lives of people is truly incredible. And here at Mahakumbh 2025, it is creating waves. With over 450 million people expected to attend, the need for seamless transactions has never been more crucial. UPI is enabling devotees to make payments swiftly and securely with just a tap of their phones. With its ease of use, UPI is providing a faster and safer way to transact, reducing the need for physical cash and helping maintain smoother crowd flow at this massive event. Whether it's buying food, offerings, or souvenirs, the UPI allows pilgrims to make quick and cashless payments. Just a tap on the phone and you're done.
जब से यूपीआई स्टार्ट हुआ है तो तब से कस्टमर और वेंडर्स के बीच में जो रिलेशन है बहुत अच्छा हो चुका है. कोई किसी प्रकार की धोखाधड़ी नहीं होती है.
यूपीआई के थ्रू हम लोग अपना पेमेंट कर लेते हैं. हमको ज़्यादा सुविधाजनक भी महसूस हो रहा है, इससे सेफ भी महसूस हो रहा है. कैश लेकर नहीं चलना पड़ रहा है.
It is also simplifying payments for vendors, making it easier for them to handle the volume of transactions while keeping their operations smooth and transparent. See, it is this simple. In this sea of millions, UPI ensures that technology becomes a bridge, making the Mahakumbh 2025 experience not just spiritual, but also seamlessly connected with the digital age. With camera person Rakesh Kumar, this is Sidharth Bharadwaj reporting for DD India in Prayagraj.
And now let's go live across to Sidharth Bharadwaj, who's there in Prayagraj. Good morning, Sidharth. We are just 24 hours away from the Grand Kumbh festival. How are the preparations going on there?
Well, a very good morning to you and Pranam, Deepika, from the holy premises of Mahakumbh 2025. Here I am at the Arahel Ghat, and as you talked about, the preparations, they are going on in full swing. Let me just tell you a little bit about the weather here. It's a slight foggy morning, but the sun is expected to come out. It is also expected to bring smiles on their faces. In any way, the pilgrims and the devotees who are coming here are having smiles on their faces. In fact, big smiles on their faces. Nothing can beat their enthusiasm. People from all walks of life, are coming here because from tomorrow, from 13th of January, this mega festival is starting, where around 450 to 500 million people are expected to participate. Preparations, like I just mentioned, are in full swing. There is a 7-layer security that has been deployed from checking vehicles to checking individuals. The authorities are making sure that every individual, every official who is entering into the premises is having a valid ID card or a valid pass on their cars. From NDRF to SDRF to fire services, everything has been checked time and again, from water ambulance as well. Everything is made sure that this festival remains peaceful, safe and secure. I was also mentioning to you, Deepika, that this is the festival. It is a grand festival of great significance. Why? We have to understand this fact. Number one, because it's Mahakumbh. It comes once in 12 years. And number second, it's Purnkumbh, which comes in 144 years. Once in 144 years. So 12 into 12 makes it 144. It becomes once in a lifetime experience, Deepika, for many. In fact, because no one can, experience Purnkumbh, second time, because it comes after 144 years. So it's of great significance. So you can imagine the amount of intensity the devotees with which the devotees are coming here, their devotion, it multiplies, and for the authorities as well, it's a great challenge to maintain, peace and law and order, but they are leaving no stone unturned to make sure that everything goes well, from AI technology to digital technology, because I'm saying it time and again, Deepika, that technology is playing a pivotal role here when it comes to the security, when it comes to CCTV footage, or it comes to the amount of cameras which are here from AI integrated security. Everything is being checked. The facial recognition system is also here. Underwater drone is also here. The drone surveillance is also here. So everything, because the focus, to make this Mahakumbh a digital one. That's what the tagline says, is Divya, Bhavya and digital, which means grand and digital. So the digital technology is being used in such a manner that everything is actually going in very smooth line manner, be it devotees or be it authorities. I'll talk to you about, what are the digital things which are being implemented in this particular Kumbh Mela. But yeah, all in all, if you talk about the preparations, then definitely they are going in full swing. I am at Arail Ghat right now, and if I talk to you about, I request my camera person to actually pan the camera, and I'll show you how beautifully the ghats are, have been set up to make sure that everything goes like in a smooth line manner. You can see these bags, Deepika, these white bags, they are full of sand, for the safety and security purpose. And as I walk along these ghats, I'm at Arail Ghat, you can see these particular setup that has been done by the authorities from the security point of view. And this is Yamuna, but there, that is the point where people come to take bath in the holy and pristine waters of the Kumbh. That is called Triveni Sangam, Deepika, the confluence of river Ganga, the confluence of river Yamuna, and confluence of river Saraswati. That is exactly the point where people will take the holy dip tomorrow, and the crowd will be massive. There is no crowd today because the devotees are still coming. But tomorrow, this mega festival is starting, and you will see huge crowd. Around 1.5 to 2 crore people are expected to come and to take bath in the holy rivers.
Indeed.
And
so
it's not just a confluence of river Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. It's also the confluence of emotions, confluence of devotion as well, Deepika.
Indeed, Siddharth, when we talk about the management and the grand preparations, this time the management is also eyeing some more world records. And cleaning Ganga is yet another important milestone to be achieved for the organizers. Now, considering all these, what sort of arrangements are going alongside the Ghat? We saw some of the beautiful visuals that you're talking about, but when we talk about the government's milestone and its achievements, what are those?
Well, definitely, not just ghats, Deepika. Let me just tell you that entire Kumbh premises, it's such a huge premises. There are around, Deepika, 10,000 sanitation workers that have been deployed. And, to make sure that the Kumbh premises remain clean and green. Apart from that, there are 10,000 sanitation workers that have been deployed, like I was just saying, and they will be provided accommodation, food under Swachh Kumbh Fund. And apart from that, Deepika, not just that, there are around 1.5 lakh urinals and toilets that have been made. And that it's a very unique way of monitoring those 1.5 urinals and toilets. It's through QR code, like I was just mentioning. The focus this time majorly is on how to make this grand festival a digital one. There's a QR code, and there's an app called ICT app.
Okay.
So these volunteers who will be taking care of the monitoring system of monitoring the urinals and toilets. These are called Ganga Seva Doots. So they have the QR. So they are the QR codes. They will be every morning. They will be scanning those QR code, and they will be saying yes or no. Apart from that, there are some other volunteers as well who will be taking care of the ghats. Like they are called Ganga Praharis. So the Ganga Praharis will be taking care of the fact that this holy rivers remain clean. So that's how the preparations are going on. That's how the volunteers have been deployed, and a full-fledged security system and full-fledged sanitization drive is going on every day, at Mahakumbh 2025 to make sure that this mega festival remains peaceful, calm, secure, clean and green. Deepika, back to you.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for bringing us a rounded perspective and how the preparations are going on just before because we know few hours are left as we enter the Mahakumbh festival there in Prayagraj. Moving on, Rashtrapati Nilayam in Secunderabad is hosting the Udyan Utsav from the 2nd of January till the 13th of it, celebrating nature and sustainability. Announced by President Draupadi Murmu, the festival draws inspiration from the annual Amrit Udyan event in New Delhi. Open daily, it features 50 stalls showcasing organic fertilizers, floral crafts and gardening tools. Workshops on sustainable gardening and urban farming are held every morning, while folk and tribal performances entertain the visitors in the evening.
Rashtrapati Nilayam itself is having lots of gardens. We have beautiful thematic gardens here. In Rashtrapati Nilayam, it is a 97-acre campus. In this campus, we have 33 acres of fruit orchards coming from mango, custard apple, chiku, amla and all. Apart from that, we have thematic gardens where 1.5 acre is consisting of medicinal plants. And we have a beautiful Nakshatra garden based on Hindu astrological theme.
Now, over 6,000 people attended on the first day, exploring nurseries, food stalls and unique startup innovations. The festival promotes biodiversity, sustainable horticulture and a love for nature among all the visitors. Now, Delhi experienced dense fog on Sunday as icy winds intensified the cold wave. The chill reduced visibility, disrupted transport and drove many homeless people to night shelters. According to Indian Meteorological Department, minimum temperature is expected to drop to 10 degrees Celsius on Sunday. The IMD has warned of light rain in the national capital, with thunderstorms and hail expected later in the day. The rains are likely to be accompanied by chilly winds, intensifying the ongoing cold wave. We are heading for a short break, but still to come on DD India News app. Latest update from Ground Zero on Sonmarg's tunnel inauguration by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Mohammad Shami returns to India's squad for India vs England T20I upcoming series.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Deepika. Now, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Sonmarg Tunnel project in Jammu and Kashmir on Monday. The Sonmarg Tunnel project, around 12 kilometers long, has been constructed at a cost of over 2,700 crore rupees. It comprises of the Sonmarg main tunnel, an egress tunnel and approach tunnel, This tunnel will provide all-weather connectivity between Srinagar and Sonmarg en route to Leh. Meanwhile, sharing a social media post of Jammu and Kashmir, Chief Minister Omar Abdullah, the Prime Minister on it said that he was eagerly waiting for his visit to Sonmarg for the inauguration of the tunnel. Residents of Gandarbal district have expressed immense gratitude for the project, emphasizing that the tunnel will significantly boost the region's development. Locals believe it will provide new opportunities for tourism and winter spots, positioning Gandarbal as a hub for economic and cultural growth.
ये सबसे पहले प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ इंडिया मिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी जी का शुक्रिया पूरी गांधरबल.
All right, now it's time to get you some latest visuals from Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived to attend the Viksit Young Leaders program on the occasion of National Youth Day. Well, today, on the 12th of January, the nation is celebrating National Youth Day to commemorate the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. And as you can see in the visuals, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached the venue in Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, along with Sports and Youth Affairs Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia and the Sports Minister for State Ms. Raksha Khadse to attend the grand celebrations which have been planned for Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025. Now here, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is taking a tour of all the stalls which have been set up by young leaders, where ideas are being presented to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he is keenly witnessing all the stalls set up by the young students and young minds which can lead to Viksit Bharat or Progressive India. At Bharat Mandapam today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to interact with 3,000 young leaders who are selected through a merit-based multi-level selection process from over 30 lakh participants. The young leaders will make presentations to the Prime Minister, and they are making few of them, as you can see in the visuals as well, reflecting innovative ideas and solutions to address some of India's most pressing challenges, and they are doing it with the help of technology. And you can see the equal number of participation, be it men or women. Ideas are coming in from all walks of life. There's a cultural representation as well, which is there on your screens, as you can see. And not only this, in a unique initiative, youth will also get an opportunity to share their ideas, experiences and aspirationals directly to the Prime Minister during a lunch program which has been organized alongside today's occasion at the venue itself, which is Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. This all is taking place on the occasion of National Youth Day, commemorating the birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. And you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi actively participating in the Viksit Bharat Young Leaders Dialogue 2025 at Bharat Mandapam. He is scheduled to engage with 3,000 dynamic young leaders from across the nation. And later in the day, he will also address the gathering on the occasion and share his words of wisdom with the young leaders, the young minds of the country, which will shape the future of Bharat. And now talking about the Srinagar Sonmarg tunnel, which is going to be another landmark achievement for the country. To discuss more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Shabir Dar from Srinagar. Good morning, Shabir. Now this tunnel, when we talk about the Sonmarg tunnel, promises to bring all-weather access to Sonmarg. Tell us its strategic importance.
Yeah, this tunnel is, strategically very important for Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh Union territories, because this is built on a road which connects Srinagar and Ladakh. So we already know how Ladakh is strategically important for the country, and a tunnel that comes on this road will eventually, make it a seamless and safe connectivity and all year round connectivity. So this will, be a seamless connectivity for the security forces and the, infrastructure and, the requirements the troops need in Ladakh. Besides that, it will turn Sonmarg as an all-weather, destination. So it will bypass the areas which were usually, avalanche-prone and remain closed during winters. So the tunnel, which is this project, which is like a 12-kilometer long project, which consists of 6.5 kilometer main tunnel, an egress tunnel, and an approach road. It has been constructed, at a cost of over 2,700 crore rupees. So this road, this tunnel is giving a big boost to tourism and economic growth to Sonmarg and Gandarbal areas, because it will turn Sonmarg to be the all-weather tourist destination, particularly a winter tourist destination. This will, be another winter tourist spot alongside Gulmarg, because it will be developed as a skiing spot and winter sport destination. So we'll be seeing from next year onwards, Sonmarg will be holding winter tourist events like Gulmarg is doing. So which will have a huge boost to the local economy and tourism in the area.
All right, thank you so much, Shabir, for joining us and bringing us the latest information straight from Srinagar. You're watching DD India News Hour, and now it's time to get you all the latest from the world of sports. To begin with tennis. Olympic champion Zheng Qinwen overcame a sluggish start to advance to the second round of the ongoing Australian Open on Sunday. Fifth seed Cheng secured a hard-fought 7-6-6-1 victory on the centre court in the opening Grand Slam of the season, defeating Romania's 110th ranked Todoni. Meanwhile, 17-year-old Russian Mira Andreeva also advanced to the second round with a commanding 6-3, 6-3 victory over Czech Maria Biskova on the John Cain Arena. The Australian Open faced weather disruptions as storm struck Melbourne Park ahead of Arena Sabalanka's bid for a historic third consecutive crown. Matches on day one were suspended on the outside courts shortly after play began as thunder, lightning and heavy rains forced the players and the fans to seek shelter. On to cricket now. Team India has announced their squad for T20I series against England starting the 22nd of January. Suryakumar Yadav will continue to lead the side while pacer Mohammad Shami is set to make a return to international cricket following a prolonged break due to an injury. Spin bowling all-rounder Akshar Patel has been named as the vice-captain. The 15-member squad also features two wicket batters, Sanju Samson and Dhruv Jurel. Young upstart Nitish Kumar Reddy is also included in the squad. The first game of the 5-match series will take place in the Eden Gardens at Kolkata. In hockey, UP Rudra secured a 3-1 victory over Delhi in the ongoing Men's Hockey India League on Saturday. The first quarter of the game remained goalless. In the second quarter, Rudra's defence faltered in the 29th minute, allowing Delhi's Jake Wheaton to score the opening goal. However, Delhi's celebrations were short-lived as Rudra's Flores Wortelber equalised just a minute later. Subsequently, goals from Kane Russell and Tengo Cousins ensured Rudra's triumph, propelling them to the second spot on the points table, while Delhi are still searching for their first outright victory in the league. Hyderabad Tufans secured a dramatic 4-3 shootout victory over Surma Hockey Club after a closely contested match that ended 1-1 in regulation time at the Birsa Munda Hockey Stadium in Rourkela. Surma took an early lead through Nicholas Diala's lofted drag flick in the first quarter. Amandeep Lakra equalised for the Tufans in the third quarter with a penalty corner. Despite both the teams having chances, the match headed to a penalty shootout where Dixon's crucial save against Ponchilat sealed the victory for the Tufans. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.